Lab number 224. In this lab, we're starting our new lab series with developing an application called Hello Paris. We will be doing that using MobileFirst Platform command line interface and new IDE from Microsoft that called Visual Studio Code. That's actually available for Linux, and you should have it as a prerequisite to this lab. You should pass actually lab called 1.7 in order to install it. Also, in Lab 9.3, we were developing the mockups of our screens for this app. Actually, it's one screen, just dynamic, and you also should remember this. If you don't have that screen mockups, or if you don't pass actually the Lab 9.3, you can find those screen mockups in our host machine lab files folder in 224, or on Dropbox, of course, if you didn't download them. So the app will be pretty simple. The app will contain just one button. The button should be actually recording the voice that you're saying in English and translate your speech to text. Then this text will be translated to French text. Then there should be a translation from French text to French speech, so the application should reply to you something in French language, and also you should be able to see the previous queries that are stored in a history, and for that we will be using the database. So quite simple. Let's take a look on the screen mockups. So here we have page 1. Pretty simple, one button, nothing special, and page 2. So this is text in English, this is text in French, history, and mic. For accomplishing this task, we will be using Ionic framework as the graphical framework plus AngularJS underneath. We will be doing the hybrid development. We will be also using Google API to do speech-to-text and text-to-speech translation. We will use Bluemix Watson services for doing text-to-text translation, just to get used to them and see how they are working and everything like that. We will be using also Cloud on Database for storing history, and additional tasks will be using mobile quality assurance services to actually give a possibility to validate our app, to report the feedback, bugs, and something like that. And we'll also try to use MobileFirst Platform application scanning to verify how our app is actually secured or not. What are the security mistakes that we did during application development. So quite simple app, but quite complex project, let's say like this. So let's start. In this particular lab 224, we will start with creation of Ionic project. So for that, let's open terminal, navigate to our dev workspaces folder, and with the command Ionic start and name of the project, in our case it will be Hello Paris, create our project structure using Ionic framework. Yeah, so now basically we will have the folder called Hello Paris, and inside this folder, as always with Ionic, you have their default structure. We are now particularly interested in www folder, which for us actually will hold all the web resources. So this is our folder that represents actual analog in MobileFirst Platform called common folder, and we will need to grab those web resources and move them to MobileFirst Platform project. So in order to do that, let's create a MobileFirst Platform project using the MobileFirst Platform command line interface. So the project will be named the same, Hello Paris. But of course, in order not to get the error that this is the same folder name, we'll call it Hello Paris MFP, just like this. So inside our Hello Paris MFP, we will need to actually add the application, because this is just the project, and we will use for that command mfp adds hybrid, that will represent that we are adding the hybrid application, and the name of the app. In our case, it will be Hello Paris. So this will actually add the application in our apps folder, and we will see that inside our project we have now our first application called Hello Paris. So this app now has only the common resources, application descriptor that represents the application settings and build settings, how we will package it. And of course we're missing the platforms itself. So for that we will use the command mfp.environment to create our application environment for Android. So as always we will select Android with space and press enter to create the Android environment, and now we also seen that Android folder appeared. So next task for us will be to go inside the common folder where we have our default structure, and actually we will need to pass here the information and all the files from our www folder inside Ionic project. So this actually will allow us to include Ionic project, and this is the simplest way to include Ionic project in our MobileFirst Platform common structure. So we will do it with copying everything that we had there. So I will use for that command cp-r that will do recursive copy with overwriting everything that is here from our home IBM dev workspaces, then Hello Paris, www, and everything that is there here. So now you can see that we have much more folders. Actually we can remove some. With rm-rf we can remove image folder because it's not needed. Images is pretty enough. And next step for us, we can actually do the following. We can remove the www project that we had in Ionic, and on its place we will put the symbolic link to our common folder. We'll do that for actually to be able to use Ionic preview and other commands during our UI development, which will really simplify the development for us. So for that I will just create the symbolic link. We'll do it with the command ln-s. We'll need to provide the whole path. So it will be starting from home, IBM of course, then dev, then workspaces, and then we'll go to Hello Paris MFP, apps, Hello Paris common, and this will actually lead us to home, IBM, dev, workspaces, Hello Paris, and this will be the folder www. So basically when we will go to Hello Paris project in Ionic and try to enter www folder, it should actually represent the common folder. It should be a symbolic link to our common folder in MFP project. So let's test. It will be faster with UI. Let's go to our workspaces, Hello Paris, www. Yeah, you see that it's working perfectly. We have actually our common folder here working, and we will create one more symbolic link in order to simplify development processes. We will create the link to our Ionic projects inside our MFP project, so it will look like this. The link will be actually from Hello Paris project to Hello Paris MFP, and the folder name will be Ionic, just like this. So this is just to navigate a bit more easier. So the idea is that when we will go to this Ionic project inside Hello Paris MFP as a folder, we will be able to do something like Ionic Surf. Let's try it. So I will do Ionic Surf -b, and this will launch for me the live reload server on Ionic platform, and then basically I can navigate to this URL and it will show me my application. in real time. So this is what I will be using for development, for live development of my application. Let's do some adjustments. So basically what I will need to enable device emulation, and we will be focusing on developments with interface something like for iOS style. So we will be using lightweight fonts and everything like that. And device that we will be using for emulation, let's choose Apple iPhone 6 just as an example. So basically what we achieved, we have now our project moved to MFP. We have our project initially created with Ionic framework, and now next step for us will be actually to open our IDE, which we installed previously in lab number 17. So here we go, our newly released Visual Studio Code. Here we will need to open a folder that actually located under dev workspaces Hello Paris MFP. This is our MobileFirst Platform project, inside which under apps common we should be able to see our structure. And in order to say that yeah, we moved our app to MFP platform, we will need to do several modifications. So first of all, we will need to include the libraries that are required to have a server connectivity here, and they're actually all there. So we will we can call them using the files init options.js, main.js, and messages that we can just include here in our file index.html. So we will do that by putting here init options before closing our body init options.js. Then we will do the same for main.js. And we will do the same for messages, just like this. Pretty simple. Next thing that we will need to do, we will remove this line representative Cordova load, because the Worklight libraries, Worklight SDK actually itself contain a Cordova, so we don't need to load it separately. Next step for us is app.js file, where we need to remove this initialization of Ionic platform that will try to load some plugins from Cordova. We don't need it. And one more step for us is actually inside the style CSS file. We will need to add the following. We will need to say that body position will be absolute. Like this. And this will allow us to do built-in deployment of our app, and it will actually should work with our platform. In order to have a better testing for our application inside the browser and not using the simulator all the time, we'll create one more environment. So we will go to our Hello Paris MFP inside our application, and using command mfp add environments, we will add the desktop browser environment that will actually allow us to do all the testings inside the web browser. And now when our environment is ready, we can do mfp build and deploy with the single command mfp bd that was recently added in version 7.0. It will create a server or launch it if we had a server previously. So you don't need to understand how the server creation process will look like right now. This is just a simplification that's development team done for you. So basically, after a server creation on the first time, or after its initialization, if you already had a server, your application will be built and it will be deployed on this server. So you will be able to see it inside the console, and right away you will be able to start testing and working with your app using desktop browser environment, or using the Android environment with Mobile Simulator Preview, or of course with real device if you will deploy your app there. So let's wait a few seconds until actually the server will be started up and application will be deployed on it. Okay, so our app is deployed. Now we can go to our console, which can be accessed by going to localhost, and the port is 180. URL is worklight console. So login and password is admin, and when we will go inside, we should see our Hello Paris MFP environment, inside which we will have one app called Hello Paris, just as we see, and two environments, Android and desktop browser. Right now we are interested in desktop browser environments, and by clicking this link we should see our app actually already working on MobileFirst Platform. So I will do the same thing. I will enable device emulation, so we will be able to see this app as the part of Apple iPhone 6 emulation, so it will have the same size and pretty the same look as on real device. And basically on this step, now our lab 224 is finished, so we'll continue development of this Hello Paris app in later labs. Thank you.